Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we're going to be reviewing Doctor Who Stranded 3 from Big Finish Productions. Now, this box set contains 4 more adventures with the 8th Doctor, Patience, Twisted Folklore, Snow, and What Just Happened. So this box set finds the TARDIS slowly healing after the Doctor is taking it on multiple trips as he's exploring this new paradoxical timeline. Now, this box set continues the strong character development that we've seen in the previous 2 box sets, and one of my highlights is definitely the exploration of Liv and Tanya and how their relationship is developing, but with all the complexities, because of course Liv is a time traveler and we see kind of how that impacts their relationship a bit. This box set also features some really interesting storytelling methods, which we'll get to when we talk about each of the individual episodes. Patience is not a bad start to the box set. It does jump you right into the adventure without much explanation, which can lead to a little confusion at first, but really once the story gets kind of started and you kind of start understanding a lot more about it, it's actually kind of enjoyable. I'm really enjoying that the Doctor is kind of testing the limit of this new paradoxical timeline, and we're kind of seeing how things are not quite going so well. One thing I can say about this episode is it has some really great companion pairings. You know, they're not what you would expect, but they do a really good job kind of exploring a lot more about these companions in a way that we haven't seen kind of before. And of course, Andy is always hilarious. Now, this story features the return of the Jadoon, tracking down the Doctor and companion. And I really like the Jadoon in this story. They kind of served a really good purpose, and you can kind of understand why they were included. Twisted Folklore is very much the same as the first story in the way that it just starts you right in the adventure. But I think it's a lot better in this story than the first story. Now, the Doctor and his companions head to the planet Rakelia to kind of understand more about the divine intervention, and they end up getting very involved in the planet. I just found this to be okay. I think it does a great job at exploring the planet Rakelia, kind of seeing a little bit more about divine intervention, and it also features, again, a lot of great character scenes, which is probably one of my highlights of Stranded. Snow takes the Doctor and his companions back to London, but not in 2020. Instead, it's actually 2030, and we get to see how much things have really changed since the Doctor left 2020. Ron is now the only resident left, and it's now Baker Street is the only place in the entire world that snows, which I think is a really kind of clever idea. I think this is a very enjoyable story. I think it's probably my least favorite in the entire box set, but it did have a really good exploration of what it means to lose a person and how much loneliness can really impact a person. Of course, we're also kind of being reintroduced to the idea of, well, the future is not set. Even though we see it how it is right now, it's not set in stone because, well, this paradoxical timeline is really messing with things. What Just Happened is weird in the best possible way. This story features reverse storytelling. So basically, you hear the kind of the cast call at the beginning and the opening credits at the end, which is a very weird and clever choice. I actually kind of like it. Even with this, though, it actually wasn't really that confusing. I was able to grasp the plot of it, and I think John Dorney crafted it where it was kind of easy to follow the story even with this new storytelling method. We also learn about who is pretending to be the Doctor in the future. It's Robin. And it's not a bad story, and it has a very interesting end, or is that the beginning? So overall, I enjoyed Stranded 3. I feel the same as I did with Stranded 2. I think the box sets are decent. They're all right. They have some really great character development in them. And this box set does have some really good stories. I think by the end of it, I'm starting to see a lot more about the overall arc and how it's shaping up. You know, a lot with divine intervention and Robin's character, which I'm still not entirely sure of what to make of that decision quite yet. And also with that cliffhanger-ish, how they started, you know what I mean. And I'm very curious to see how this all wraps up in Stranded 4. So if you listen to this box set, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.